everybody. Good evening. This is Whiskey Wednesday Weekly, family edition, if you call it that. I've had a couple of these. Tonight, actually, I have my sister from the East Coast in from town. This is my sister Keri from Maryland. Hi.
Hi.
Her boys are here. We had her...
three of my boys.
Yeah, three of her boys. The other one's a little bit bigger. He stayed back. He had school and work. And then two of my, I don't even know what you call Stacy and Kelsey and JB. They're family. Niece and nephew, right? Not cousins, right?
They're your niece and nephew.
Niece and nephew, thank you. I'm always bad with that whole calling the names. Anyway, this ought to be an interesting show because Keri, she was born when I was 12. So I moved out of the house when I was roughly part-time 17, 18, and then 19 I joined the military. So most of her kind of from 7 years old all the way till today, we only see each other when we're traveling or I was back home or visiting and stuff. But yet she seems to, think I'm a cool guy. I don't know why.
I guess.
But she always says she loves her brother. So it's
I love my brother.
But it's interesting, that dynamic, because it's not, I don't know if anyone else has 12-year gaps, but it's definitely a big one. And then she went on to have many kids. Many, only 4, but it just happened so fast. It felt like it was never going to end. So
we found hobbies.
That being said, Keri, let's start off a little bit. Obviously, most people probably know where you're from because I'm from Maryland. You're from Maryland. You're still from there, born and raised there.
Yep.
You were born when I was 12 years old. Her father is Mike, which I think you guys have heard me talk about. Mike Blanchfield, my stepfather, and then
Crazy
obviously
Mike.
my mother and her are, I'm sorry. My mother is also your mother. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's how we're related there. So let's get into a little bit about not when you were born and all that good stuff, because those 7 years were kind of like me just taking care of you. Everyone was having a good time and having fun. But after I left, what was kind of like, I don't even know what you went through as far as, like how Mike and Mom's dynamic was when you were going from like 7 to 15.
Well, we lived in Easton for a while,
Okay.
and then...
Goldsboro Street.
Goldsboro Street,
Okay.
yes. Lived in Easton, and then I guess I was about 10 or 11, and Dad started his business, Mike's Painting Service. That took like a huge shot, and then Dad bought a house in Preston. Yeah. And then I moved and switched schools over to Colonel, and it was, Mom and Dad, they were always, fun. They were, we did like vacations. Dad would paint for a woman in St. Michael's, I think it was, and we would go stay at condos down in Ocean City every year, and he would kind of just offset some things. But Dad, he was a character. Mom, they liked their drinking. They liked to have people over, party, and they
even
didn't
then,
do it all the time.
Yeah.
But you know what we did? Every Sunday we had a Sunday dinner.
Oh, okay.
Stacy came over. Emily, Dad adopted so many kids and grandkids. Everybody knew them as Mama and Papa.
Wow. Definitely a different time than when I grew up. That's
I know. We did Sunday dinners, and that's one of me and Stacy talk about it all the time because we always had Sunday dinners, and Mom would always have to have a stack of sliced butter bread and sliced tomatoes, and Dad would sit there, but then we would talk too much, and he would get up and go sit in the living room. We had Sunday dinners, and it was way different. It was
definitely different. Yeah,
because I've seen what you said.
Well, he's also older. He was getting older, and then you were obviously his new daughter, so he kind of had to settle down a little bit once you were born. He had to not settle down, but definitely compared to when I was a kid. And then of course Stacy is your other sister.
Yes, that's my dad's oldest daughter.
Right. So so let's go into, obviously the other big part of Keri's story is that she was kind of like the teen mom before MTV had a show about it.
Yeah, I could have
was
made
the
some money here.
Yeah, she was a trendsetter. So she ended up, I remember getting the news, but I guess she'll go into a little bit of the story. She ended up being pregnant with her first son, Christopher, at 15.
14.
Oh, 14. Sorry, 14. Wow, sorry. This went way worse. Anyway.
It's not that bad.
I'm just saying 15 sounded way better than 14. You at least went in the other direction.
I was
anyway,
2 weeks before my birthday.
You don't have to go into the details of how that all went down, but tell us a little story about, I think you said it was a pretty traumatic experience. Kind of tell your dad.
Well, my dad, he was fun, don't get me wrong. Love Dad.
I think every time we record there's a plane, so I apologize. I can't. She wanted to do it outside, so I apologize if there's any background noise. Yeah, go ahead.
Dad, he was always fun. He was crazy Mike, always outgoing, always had a blast wherever he went. But Dad was a little, I wasn't allowed to date until I was 16.
Yeah.
Like,
he's very old school belt, the stories I've told you guys.
like he was pretty stern with me, and and then I guess I was 15 and Dad was like, I really think we need to meet this phone boyfriend of yours. And I was like,
phone boyfriend?
Oh, no. And I'm already pregnant, and I'm like, okay. And then, so I tell my mom, I get the school lady who helped me come to the house and tell my mom, and of course she drank a lot.
Oh, Mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
We would walk to the store and she would drink the whole way home.
How long did this happen?
About a week.
Him? Oh, okay.
About a week before we told him. We told Stacy. We had to keep it a secret from Kelsey because she was the blabbermouth.
Yeah.
She
was young too.
She was young, so anytime she heard something, she was like a little parrot, so she was like a repeat. But she was cute as a bug.
Yeah.
So I went over to Christopher's father's parents' house, and Stacy and my mom they told Dad. I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
But
you said there was like cops or something.
Mom and Stacy went and got the town cop in Preston, this old man, and we weren't scared like he was gonna hurt
you guys, yeah.
But we were scared of how he was going to act. Like, was he going to was he going to kill Matt? Was he going to kill Matt? We didn't know.
There, though.
Yeah,
right.
No. He sat down, and of course, Dad was actually scared that something had actually bad happened to me.
Oh, right.
And then when we told him, he didn't talk to me for about 3 days.
Oh, right. Just
3
straight
days.
Silence, yeah.
He came home, and he was like, after 3 days, and he was like, we need to talk. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, what about schooling? And I was like, I got a tutor coming to the house. They're going to tutor me while I'm on maternity leave. What about daycare? Well, Matt's mom owned a daycare. She already had a spot for me.
That's good.
What about formula? Well, I got on a free program, and they're going to give me all the formula I need. He was like, you just have all the answers. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And then the next day he showed up, and he started remodeling and painting and buying me a crib. And I was 33 weeks pregnant when I told him.
Right. And he knew that, obviously, eventually.
Yeah. I held it pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, I played softball.
Right.
I played softball. I was sliding down bases 7 months pregnant.
Wow,
and so that was, Dad he took it, he was like, just because it's a boy, don't think I'm going to change my opinion.
Yeah,
and I was
exactly.
like, okay, Dad.
Yeah, sure, we'll see.
And he did. He came around. He loves Christian. He loves all his grandkids.
Well, that being said, my timer went off for our first shot. So we have a little bit of a variety tonight. Keri's not a huge whiskey drinker, but she does like it.
I've been drinking it all week.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, it's not her thing. She didn't, come out and be like, hey, I got a collection of my own. So she bought these little Crown Royal minis at the store, and there was, a bunch of little ones. So we're going to start off with something easy, which is called Crown Salted Caramel. And, oh, my God, I'm not going to be able to get... Oh, yes, I am. Remember how hard it was earlier? So we're just going to share this mini as a warm-up, because they're light and they're not too... I'll give you a little bit more.
I was going to say, can you give yourself more?
So we'll go ahead and cheers to the salted caramel. I don't know if you've had this one yet.
With Pepsi.
That's good. That's easy. It's salted caramel. But you don't... This was the Crown, though. You like the other stuff, the Knuckle Noggin better?
Knuckle Noggin was a little smoother.
Then again, did you drink it straight like that?
I did not.
Right. We have a little water to chase that down with.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, you're hilarious. Sorry, I'm just setting the other timer. All right, so we'll go into the story. And again, Keri's story, like I said, she went a whole different route, right? Not just because she had a kid early. She also then met her husband, and when Christopher was 4, right? She ended up not marrying Matt, correct?
No, me and Matt split up. We stayed together through high school.
Yeah.
Not really, but whatever. Matt did his own thing.
I see.
He chose it. We chose different paths.
Sure.
He was a part of Christopher's life.
Yes.
And everything like that. But we just didn't get along.
Right.
And that was something that was not cool, and so I wanted to work and he didn't.
To grow up. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were young.
Yeah,
Gosh, I was 18. He was 20
when you guys decided to part ways.
When we decided to part ways, it was too much arguing and stuff. So we parted, and then Jeremy, which was Matt's brother, is my husband's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Jeremy used to hang out all the time. And we would go four-wheeling and, with a bunch of people. And then one night, Jeremy was like, I really want you to meet this guy. And I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And, I knew Wade.
Right.
I knew him.
Right.
But Wade, to me, in school, he used to walk around like this, like he was macho.
Sure,
and I was
sure.
like, no, you're not macho in my eyes. Like, don't do that.
Did he have hair then?
He had a little bit of hair.
I was gonna say, he was never really that old to me, and he always seemed to not have hair.
No, his hair Jerry curled.
Oh, okay.
So it was like kinky curly.
It was very always tight.
Yes.
Regardless, yeah.
So, and that was just, whatever.
So you knew him in school?
I did know him in school because
he was older or younger?
Well, he's a year older,
Oh,
but
okay.
he was
So
friends with Christopher, my son's father.
Right.
And his brother, and
yeah, it was like a crew there. Yeah,
yep.
Hung out, yeah.
And then one weekend we went four-wheeling and we kind of just clicked.
Yeah,
and we kind of hung out and just kept hanging out, and he was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, gosh, we did so many adventures, bungee jumping and like all sorts of stuff. Like
he was always out wanting to do stuff.
Yeah, and that's something I've always wanted to do, but I didn't, my time was limited because of having a child and everything. So when Matt had Christopher, I got to do things with him, and so then that's just how it came to be. And then we had a wild ride and went to Tennessee after 4 months, and I came home pregnant.
Huh.
And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then a few months later, we bought a house.
Right.
And then a couple months later, we
got married.
No,
oh.
we had
that
another.
was later.
We had a kid, and then 3 months later, got pregnant again, and we had another kid. And then I guess it was about a year later, and we had another kid. So we had
three kids,
3 boys
in 4 years.
Yes.
Or 5 years, somewhere.
Roughly almost 4.
4. Because
4,
16 to 12. Yeah, that's 4 years. Oh my God.
So
I honestly thought you weren't going to stop.
Well, and then after my last pregnancy with my youngest, Wade actually went to Dad one night, and he was like, I want to ask your daughter for her hand in marriage. She said, it's about time, dude.
Yeah, no
kidding.
kidding.
I mean, got 3 kids with her. What do you
a
expect?
house, 3 kids, sure.
He said, you could have asked me this before you got her
Yeah,
knocked
yeah,
up.
exactly.
And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad.
Well, luckily he liked Wade.
He did.
Yeah.
Everybody liked Wade.
Yeah,
He was a good guy.
That's classic. That is classic.
So.
So that's the kid journey, okay? And not because, there's more to it. So let me get into a little bit about, so from that point, when you were having kids, you obviously were not working. You were, doing maybe little things here and there, but as a mom, you pretty much went straight through for 4 years of being a mom.
Yeah, I did. I worked here and there because he worked a lot of nights when we first got together and everything, because he graduated college, and then he started working nights because nights pay better.
And what did he do?
He was X-ray.
Okay.
He just did he was an X-ray tech. Then he was continuing going to college because he wanted to improve himself, and he got his bachelor's degree and everything. But
he got his bachelor's, good.
He did. He got his bachelor's degree. But I worked on and off. Like one time he was working Friday to Monday. So his mom would come over on Monday and Friday and watch the kids, and I would work during the week at a call center in our local town until they closed down. So then it was we couldn't afford daycare for 3 kids, like under 3, or like 3 kids at 3 and under, and so it was cheaper for me to stay home and him work. And then he worked a lot.
Yeah.
He worked a lot. He worked very hard for us, but we wanted our kids to be, they went to a preschool, our local preschool that I currently work at. And it was a church-related preschool, so we wanted them to be involved.
Yeah,
and
learn the values and be a part of,
Yeah, so, we did...
He had to pay for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, he had to work more hours than normal or take up extra shifts and stuff, yeah.
Well, it was never like, I always had the option to get a job, and I did. When he would be like, hey, I'm going to cut back on this job, or if I wanted to get out of the house, he'd be like, okay, go find a job, and we'll work our schedules.
Sure.
And I'd be like, okay, so I did, and I worked at a couple little other places, until I got my current job, but I basically was a mom.
Yeah.
That was our big thing. Like, he was like, I want you to be home with the kids as much as possible.
It makes sense. There's no way you can do, with that many kids that quick, you kind of, but it's good that you kind of got it done. Because even though, yes, you were young and all that stuff, at the same time, they you popped them out pretty quick. So even though they were still young for a while, you're only what 36.
Yes.
Yeah. So 36 with teenage, the youngest is 12. So
12,
you're kind of
14,
like you're
15,
kind of
21.
got that whole like you still got a lot left to live in life, and your kids will be older and they'll be able to take care of you and all that good stuff.
And then when I got the job offer at the preschool, the church preschool in town, it was great because then I was off at 3 o'clock. I only worked 4 days a week, and Bradley could go to work with me.
Right.
And then all my other ones were in school, so I was home to put them on the bus. I was home to get them off the bus.
Right.
I was home,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a big thing for me and Wade is because you hear so many horror stories about daycares and all. Kidnappings, and we were always so worried like
Right.
something would ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids really never been anywhere but to family.
Right.
Like the daycare we did send them to, it was family.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was mom or his mom.
Right.
So it was never really any like bad things. Like we just wanted to make sure it was all family oriented situation growing up.
Wow.
And that was something we decided on. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Now, my timer's about to go off, so we'll probably pour a shot now before it does. So we're going to skip the Crown Royal this time. We're going to go to what's called Rabbit Hole. Now, I think I had you try this one earlier when you first got here. It's with the sherry casks. Didn't I give that one to you the first day or no?
No.
Okay. So this is one that my friend gave me. It's a 2017 gold medal. It's amazing. As you can see, I've only had it for about 10 days, and it's already... I won't give you that much.
Okay.
This is amazing, though. It's soaked in sherry. So I'm sure you've heard of cooking sherry.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just...
It smells good.
It does. Well, plus it's got your salty caramel still in there a little bit. So you still...
Oh.
Yeah, you mix that. So try it out. Sorry, again, you get those reactions when you don't have people that drink normal whiskey shots.
Oh, it burned my teeth.
I've never had anyone say it burns their teeth.
It's okay. I can.
Yeah, we can handle that.
Oh
right?
gosh, what is that? Rabbit hole?
Yeah, they're all gonna taste like that to you probably.
Mm-mm.
I just learned how to drink water, obviously. Wait till the 100-proof Old Forester comes in. You might not be walking out of here.
If I start sprouting hair on my chest, y'all, like
Y'all.
y'all.
So that being said, let's talk a little bit about how, though, other than the jobs and him working and stuff, like what goes into raising 3 kids within 4 years of each other. I mean, other than what other moms have seen or know. Like, I mean, where's the? I don't want to know about diapers and stuff, but like, is it just like nonstop sleep probably?
Oh,
for a while.
You don't ever sleep.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of diapers, and it is a lot of. It's crazy if you think your house is going to be perfect or clean. It's not.
Yeah.
If you think your house is going to be this showcase, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's and they're boys, and my
That's right.
boys
4
are.
boys, yeah. Because she had 3. She had 3 with him, but he already had this other one. So
I
it's
know.
4 boys.
And they're all like built like football players.
Right.
They're all huge boys.
Yeah.
They always have been,
Yeah.
and it's like they're rough.
Right.
And that was one of Wade's things. He wanted to always roughhouse with
Right,
them.
right.
Like he wanted them to be little tackles. Like,
Yeah.
And and they all love football.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
all play
Of course
football.
they do.
But they're just rough. I mean, the hospital trips for 4 boys is ridiculous. They constantly were doing something. One brother hit the other one. I think the one time it was the old plastic water jugs, those big 5-gallon jugs,
Yeah.
and Will just put it up to his mouth, and the other brother thought it was funny and hit him and busted his lip and had to get stitches.
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Like, it was a constant. You had to watch them at all.
And that's funny, is they were born within 4 years, but this has been a long journey for many years because obviously they're just now 12 through, well, Christopher's what, 21?
Christopher just turned 21.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got 21 to 12, so it really hasn't stopped. I mean, they're still like that, but now they're just old enough to help out and be a little bit more, even though they're still ornery, because I've seen them, roughhouse each other and just have fun with each other. They're definitely good to each other.
They do have fun. I mean, I've already had to replace a couch in the last 3 months. I've been through 2 couches, I think, because they've already broke one just by goofing off. I mean, they're big boys.
Yeah,
I mean,
And there's not, no offense, it's just not a huge house. I mean, it's not like you have like this 4,000 where everyone's got their own wing.
Oh, no,
You've got a normal house where 4 people or 5 are jammed in there. And none of them are, like you said, the boys are big boys. I mean, they're 6 foot, some 6 foot more.
Yeah.
Christopher, I think, was gonna move out, right? At one time.
Christopher did move out. He graduated and he was like, "Can I move out?" And I'm like, what?"
Yeah, at first you're like, "I'm gonna be
No.
losing." Yeah.
And then he moved out and he came back a few months ago. He decided to move back home for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing good. I mean, but having him home, sometimes he likes roughhousing with his brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never stopped home and not roughhousing with them or anything, and it's been fun. I mean, they don't hurt each other too bad sometimes.
Yeah. But he's one of the boys.
Even is one of the boys.
Because he was 4 years old when Wade
Wade took over.
Yep. Duties, or,
Wade took over at 4, and he literally. I mean, Christopher was, he had a lot of women in his life.
Yeah.
And Wade stepped up to the plate really quick for him, and to Christopher, he loves Matt. Don't get me wrong, but Wade is also his dad.
Yeah.
Like Wade was a big part of his life, and Wade never missed anything for him.
Yeah.
Like he went to all his games. Matt moved to Florida about 10 some years ago.
Yeah.
So
it was kind of a choice that had to be made. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Christopher went down to visit him every summer, and and that was fine. That's how we worked it, but Wade never missed a thing for Christopher.
Right.
He loved him like his own. That was his boy too.
Yeah.
Like Wade loves his boys. So
yeah, well he should. I mean, they're good kids. It's kind of an interesting thing, but bringing that up, Keri and I haven't seen each other in 5 years, like physically, because that's when I went down when we took Mom and all our kids and Janelle. That was 5 years ago when Wade did the fireworks.
That was 5 years ago?
4, somewhere in there. Wasn't that long? It felt like it was yesterday, but it's been a while.
I thought your dad passed away after that.
Oh, so you think it's even longer, you mean? Because I only went back for that?
Yeah.
God, you're right. It was like 6 years ago. So, oh my God.
Yeah,
it feels
because
like,
you immediately came back because
right,
your dad
just
passed
for my dad
away.
passing, which was a year. Oh, it was the same year.
It was
we
the
were like
same
2-3
year.
months later, we came back.
But I think it
or
was,
was
like
it a year
6
later?
years ago. I thought it was
a year
6
years ago.
It was 6 years ago.
Because Mike had passed away the year before that.
Yes.
And I only came back for that. Oh my gosh. It's so weird. It's like so weird because your boys all seem different levels and now, but yet Bradley was just a little kid back then.
He was.
And Wade he set up the fireworks for us and stuff because we didn't have all that back then. Or we don't have that out in California, or legally anyway.
Wade loved going to get fireworks. That was one of his big things to show off, even though he almost set the house on fire, set the garage on fire, set a couple friends on fire.
Oh, you're shooting bottle rockets at him or what?
No, one of the teenage boys wanted, can we light it?
Oh, right.
And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
And he took off and he ran and he kicked it.
Right.
And it went sideways and then it started shooting at all of us.
Like all the rockets.
And then we took cover in the garage and found out there was gas tanks in the garage. So then we all ran out of the garage and Wade loved fireworks. I don't know why. I don't know why.
So, I started the timer late, so let's do another shot. I know it's fast, but I have one point I want to get to about Mike. And we'll go back to we'll go to the peach crown, okay? Something real easy.
I like
if I
peach
can
crown.
open it.
I like peach crown.
Oh my God, here we go. These things are so hard. Uh-oh, that's going to be a little bit. We're going to go to the peanut butter.
Okay, I've been wanting to try this one.
You haven't tried the screwball?
I've never tried screwball. So
it's a show favorite. We have a lot of people.
I know Mom can drink it.
Yeah.
So, but
But I'm saying we have a lot of people that request this.
She drinks
on
Pop
the show.
Off. So I mean, it's like
if you can drink
gasoline.
rock, yeah. Sorry, Pop Off people. If you are a Pop Off person, you know what we're talking about. I'm trying to get this thing. Yeah, taste that. You like peanut butter?
Not a fan, but
really.
I like peanut butter sometimes, but.
That's one I already know I can knock back. That's not gonna make your hair on your neck stand up, huh?
No, that's actually pretty smooth. I could do that one.
Yeah, right?
I can do that one.
Isn't that good?
Oh wow, that's really good.
And it's so easy, right? And even if you're not a huge peanut butter fan, there's not that bite like the other stuff, right?
Yeah, the rabbit hole can go somewhere, but the peanut butter's pretty good.
Rabbit hole's real whiskey. It's just soaked in a sherry cask. It's not flavored. It's just soaked in something.
Well, that's awful.
That's funny.
Sorry, rabbit hole liquors.
It's a great whiskey. I actually enjoy it. As you can see, I'm almost done with it. So I want to get into a little bit about, because, we talk a little bit about her life and things, which obviously this is her story. But because we have that connection as far as Mike, him, and we just brought it up, he passed, describe because you lost your father. I lost my father, you know, but I wasn't close to my dad. I mean, it's not a big secret. Not like we had enemy things, but I had not lived there for years, and you know, we didn't. But you were a huge part of it, you and Stacy.
Yes.
So, you know, without getting too emotional, talk a little bit about how, you know, in case someone's listening, how they lost their father. I mean, what he died of cancer.
He did. He died of lung cancer. Dad fought, man. He was a fighter. Yeah, he's always been a fighter.
He's been a fighter physically. And
he's always been a fighter. They told him that he didn't have long, and he was like, "Nah, I want to see my granddaughter graduate," which is Kelsey. And unfortunately, he did not get to see that. But he fought, man. He fought tooth and nail, and he did. He was great. He was. I mean, I got to take him across the bridge to John Hopkins, across the bridge just about every day. Him and his girlfriend Donna. We would rotate. Sometimes we'd have other family members too, but to spend time with him was amazing. I mean, you definitely want to spend as much time as possible with all the people, people that you want to, especially when you know that their time is limited. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's important. It's very important. Like the talks. I mean, the one time Dad almost lit me on fire.
On accident, I hope?
Oh gosh, I called Stacy and I cussed, and Dad was mad because his appointment had been changed and we were up there for too long, and Dad was a very impatient person.
Right. Oh, wow.
And he went to flick a cigarette out the window. And it came back in, and then all of a sudden I'm on the phone talking to somebody.
In the car, you mean?
In the car.
Yeah, because it blew back in.
It blew back in while I was driving, and then all of a sudden I felt my crotch was on fire, and I'm going, and I jumped out of that car. I pulled over, and he was mad. I mean, he wouldn't talk to me the whole ride.
He was mad at you because you almost
he wasn't mad. He wasn't mad at me. He was mad at the doctors, but he was just mad because he wanted to be home before then. And you know, when you're going through chemo and radiation, you
can't be yourself.
You can't,
you're
and you're already in pain.
Yeah.
I pulled that car over and I yelled at him, and he was like, "Sorry," and I was like, "That's it, Dad." And he was like, "I don't know what to say. I'm mad." And I was like,
"Yeah."
I called Stacy, and I think she left for about an hour. But he.
Well, I think you guys came out. You came with him to visit us, right?
Oh, I did. Yeah, yes, I did. We came out. He wanted to see you guys before he got really bad. I think he was getting ready to go through his second round.
Yeah, that was definitely That was hard because you know when you do that, you kind of know like that the end is near, right?
Because Dad never come out here.
No, and you're making those visits, right? And I don't think he ever flew, really.
Not really, unless he was in the
Army.
Yeah, maybe in the Army, but he did. He wanted to come out here and see you, and that was a big thing. And I flew out with him, and
so that must have been 8 years ago then, because it was like right before.
He's been gone.
Or a few months.
It'll be 8 years he's been gone, so it might be 9 years.
Jeez Louise.
Maybe 10. I don't know.
It just feels like it was yesterday. I mean, granted, I know it doesn't because Brooke was little, but I mean, I feel like time flies so fast, and me and Mom get in an argument all the time about, you know, when they passed. And she's like, "I swear," I was like, "It was just 5 years ago." She's like, "No, it wasn't. It was 6 or 7 or 8." And, you know, and she's always right because it's longer because she remembers the year and I don't, you know. So it's weird. So I mean, you and Stacy obviously have gotten through that. It's been many years now. It feels like, again, when you see posts and you say happy birthday and you relive those memories, it feels like it wasn't that long ago. But you guys obviously have, I believe, gotten closer. You and Stacy.
Me and Stacy have. I mean, when I cried, she wasn't. She was my backbone. When she wasn't, I was her backbone.
Right.
We went through everything together. I mean, when I needed to vent, I called her, and I love my sister. I mean, I love my sister to death. She has always been there for me.
And that's your only sister. Well, I mean, from Mike. Correct?
Yeah, from Dad.
Right.
From Dad, and she's a good sister, and she's living in Dad's house.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She took over the mortgage, right?
She did. She bought the house, and she's done great with it. The house is beautiful. It's different, but it's nice that she made it her own. Mm-hmm. She's a good friend. I mean, besides being my sister, she's a good friend because, I mean, especially with this year, she's been there for me as well. So she's always, me and her have always tried to have each other's back, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get to see you're doing great for yourself, so you good.
She's like sucking up Buttercup. You don't need me that much.
You don't need me. You're good.
You just get to come out every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, I just come see you. I mean, you're great. Mila's got you under control.
Yeah. She's a tough cookie. No, I really wanted to talk, like I said, there's a lot of details in all this stuff, but I try not to, have people bawling and bringing up emotional, like we've had some breast cancer survivors. We've had people who've lost their parents when they were like 7 or 11, both of them in car accidents, separate times. We've had positive stories. Everyone has their trials. So I try to keep it so people in the audience know that, there's losses in life. There's trials. I mean, even mom, just like I said, I know we kind of joke about it right now, but no, seeing your mom fall and have her
it was the most traumatic thing
I've ever seen.
I've never. I mean, Dad always wanted me to be a nurse, always, and I was like, no.
You're you would not have made it at all. You would have first
Dude,
the cadaver comes in.
I mean, I went to run down the steps, and Mila was down there, and I was like, nope, and I grabbed my knees, and I started bending over like I thought I was gonna hurl. Yeah. I saw her, and I was like, oh, I can't do this, y'all.
Yeah, my mom wouldn't live here if Mila wasn't here. If she did, she wouldn't have much nursing help.
We put her in a home, that's for sure.
I'd be collecting payments from Keri. Oh man,
love you, Mom.
Yeah, we love you. But I'm just saying, it was definitely a tragic thing. So
I'm not built.
We joke about it, but me and you obviously have that gene because I certainly do not do gore and grossness.
No.
I saw Mom's face. I'm like, oh, ambulance, 911. I'm certainly not going to.
I mean, Brennan, my son, he went down there and he was like, he talked to the ambulance people.
He also said he wasn't paying attention to Mama. He was like, okay, you're good.
And then she went to take the towel off and he was like, Mom, don't look. And he went to cover my face. I was like, no, I want to see. And then I'm like, oh, why did I do that?
Yeah, that was definitely a ride. And that was just, 3 days ago? 2 days ago.
And it still makes my knees hurt.
I don't know the knees thing. That's a wild one.
It makes my knees buckle.
That's your some people cringe or get all weird. Your knees hurt. Huh?
My knees they feel like they're getting ready to faint. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird.
Well, you're gonna faint in a little bit because we're about to have another shot.
The 100 proof?
No. You wanna do that, or do you wanna do the peach now, or do you wanna do the dickel?
The dickel?
Yeah. It always gets the ladies.
Let's do the peach last, because I know I like the peach.
You want to go with that's a good finisher. Let's go with a 100 proof Forester, yeah?
Yeah, let's just not do something awful.
All right, let's go for it.
It hasn't been open?
Nope.
So we don't know what it tastes like?
I know what Old Forester tastes like all the time.
Oh.
It's beautiful. It's my favorite. We're going to give you just a smidge. What? In case you're wondering, we have bad people.
I'm not drinking more. Just more.
She's already fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna be red.
She also has 2 more after this.
Oh, it smells good. Hold on, that might be that salted
It's
caramel
all the other
again.
stuff, yeah. Wait till you taste it.
I want to hold my nose.
That's good. That's good.
Are you sure? Because you felt like you breathed
It burns.
heavy.
It burns.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't mean it's not good.
Oh, great.
I wouldn't shoot it. You might want to just sip half.
Sip? I mean, you barely gave me any. How am I going to sip?
All right, fine. Shoot it then.
Chug it.
Rocket, child. Let's go. That's good shit, though. That is good shit. Old Forester. Well, you're not supposed to shoot it, really.
You took twice the size and shot it.
We do it because it makes you loosen up and have fun.
Oh, I'm glad I ate it so much.
wait till she has 2 more to go, babe.
I can handle the peach. I don't know the dickel.
The dickel's super good. I know my wife loves that one. She's in the background cheering, dickel. Okay, so I started the new timer.
Okay, thanks.
You've hit on a few spots about the kids, your dad. Is there anything else you want to bring up with the kids? Obviously your 4 kids. Sorry, I just meant the 3 that are here.
Yeah.
But, let's hit on just a little bit about each one of them. Let's talk a little bit about Christopher. If you had, just a paragraph. And I don't want you to...
Christopher.
Just give me, what he is, how he works.
He's crazy. He's fun. He's crazy. He loves the gym. He loves working out. He loves... smiling. He's got these beautiful dimples in his beard, and I mean, he doesn't look nothing like me. He has dark hair, dark eyes, everything, dark skin. But he's fun. He's fun to be around. You'll never be around him and not have a good time.
Yeah.
Which
Is he honoring all?
Oh yes, gosh,
Thank you.
Gosh,
Let's not build him up to be some saint.
Oh no, he's no saints, no saint.
Kidding.
He's 21. There's no saint
he's
in
a
there.
good kid, but he is cool. He likes to smile for
He's
sure.
responsible. Like he's got a job at 15. He's never asked me for money.
Yeah.
Like he's pays for his own gas, pays for his own way, always has. Works hard.
Yeah.
You know, he likes.
He likes things too. I mean,
He
got
does.
multiple cars, and
you tell him all the time. Everybody's like, "You had a girlfriend?" He goes, "Nope, I like my money."
Yeah.
There we go. Good kid, smart kid.
That's actually, even though that's gonna change, obviously, if he's a good-looking boy. But it's gonna change. But at the same time, it's good to not worry about that early, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like you
I want
were
him.
like rough. You know, it was a situation for you.
We grew up together. Like it
Right.
was, you know, I was 15 and having a child, and to me, it was important to get him through high school and get him settled. And you know, I didn't want us to be this like. It was hard. It was hard,
Oh,
and I had a great support system behind me with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had wonderful grandparents behind me, and they, I mean, to this day, even his grandparents, Christopher's grandparents, they're also my other boys.
Mm-hmm.
They
include them in everything.
They take me in. They love me just like their own, and I appreciate that, and I love them just as much. They take them. We go down to Florida. We see them. I mean,
no, they're good people. I mean, I only met them like once or
oh
twice,
my
but
gosh.
the way they take care of those kids and just wrap around them, like
I know,
it's amazing.
It's amazing, and so I love them. I mean, they're really good people. And
so let's go to Brennan.
No, Will.
Oh, Will. Sorry.
Will's next.
I know.
Will's
Brennan's taller, so
yeah. Will's Wade Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He is the spitting image of my husband,
mm-hmm.
but with red hair and
a
mullet.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wanted.
I will say, I don't think Wade ever had a mullet.
Gosh, no. He wanted a mullet, and I was like, no.
They're making a comeback. I mean, not only for a few people, only for like maybe 10.
I will say, Will has always been different. Like, he never wanted to follow the same. He's always had the mohawk and the colors and since he was young, and that's cool. Like, it makes him different. He likes suspenders and Hawaiian shirts and being different, and that's cool. But he's the jokester. His favorite is, guess what, chicken butt.
Mm-hmm.
He's a mess. He loves jokes. Loves dad jokes especially. But they call him Preacher Man because he has the sweetest soul. Yeah. He really is a sweet soul.
Yeah, he even said something to me the other day when he was here, and he's like, Uncle Kenny, I don't think I could. He said something like, I don't think I could go to that person or whatever. He couldn't do something because it would make him, even though he's not lying, it would make him tell the truth, and he don't think he could do that. Like, he doesn't think he could lie, even though it's not a lie. It was just like, if someone had to be like, oh, you know, he just said I couldn't be a host or something where you have to even remotely say anything off cue.
Yep.
Even though he has a freaking raunchy sense of humor. Like, I don't understand that. He has this sense of humor during the game last night of Cards Against Humanity, but yeah, he's Mr. I Can't Lie. I'm like, hold on, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
He's got a sense of humor. He gets that from his father because that was his and his dad's thing.
But it's not clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is honest. I will give you that. But then he's like, he has this other side. It's just joking, but it's very funny.
The one time I asked him something, and I asked the two boys, and Brennan was like, Will was like, no. And then Brennan was like, I was like, what about you? He was like, no. Will was like, I was like, Will, you just ratted your brother out, dude.
Exactly.
And Brennan was like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. He's like the videos where you see the three dogs, and the two of them are like, they just look, all of a sudden you're like, didn't even think dogs do that, but they do. It's so funny.
Oh, that's very well.
Now, Brennan is definitely different. Like
Brennan, Brennan is 6 foot tall, and he is 14.
Yeah.
And with a size 14 shoe.
Yeah.
And he is just...
He's your dad.
He is my dad.
Yeah,
he looks just like my dad.
Sure.
Stacy says he looks just like Uncle Alan. Yeah. Uncle Alan and Dad kind of look similar, but he is Dad, and he is quiet and sneaky, and that boy, he's
chill to me though, but maybe
they call him Pop-Up, but he is chill. Like I told you, you want a secret? You want someone to keep secret? He can keep a secret because he's not going to rat you out.
Snitch, yeah. But he's also like just chill. I mean, I don't know if he's not my favorite. I'm just saying, like, for me, no, I don't want to call that.
Yeah.
I'm saying I've noticed him the most because I feel like he does remind me of Mike. You know.
Oh,
But at
gosh,
the
he
same
does.
time, he doesn't have that temper. And if he does, I haven't seen it, you know.
No, he's
Mike
pretty
has a
laid
temper.
back.
He's laid back, but he looks like Mike, and maybe is chill like Mike on the Mike side that was chill. That was only like 10%. So thank God Brennan got
Brennan
he got
is
100%
very.
of 10% of Mike. Because
Yes.
Mike is 90% angry. Let's not be honest. Or at least
He
the guy I knew.
He wasn't that angry with me. I mean,
Yeah, well, I was his stepson, so it
I
was easy
was-
to beat and yell and do all that stuff.
Well, I was the baby.
Right, yeah, and at a certain age too. He's like, oh, I'm in my 30s now. I'm now I'm a baby girl. I better take that.
Yeah.
Stacy was like already grown up big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stacy, I think. What are you guys? 10 years apart? Because I can't remember how old Stacy is to me.
8.
8. Okay.
We're 8 years
Yeah.
apart.
So again, he's like starting over basically.
So then she's 8 years older than me. So when she sees this, you know how old I am.
And I'm 12 years older, but I look your age. So let's be honest.
Stacy tells everybody. She's like, "This is my older sister." I'm like,
That's funny.
and then you got Bradley who looks like me, I think, and
he
blonde
definitely
hair.
has your chin. Yep.
They all have my chin.
Yeah.
Well, Stacy does too. We all have Dad's chin,
Right.
and Bradley is my sports boy. He's my angry child.
Yeah.
He's always been kind of angry since the day he was born.
Yeah, so he got the temper from Mike.
Oh yeah. Wade always said that. He was like, "Yep, there's Keri." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm not angry." But Wade would say, "When you do, that's you." And I'd be like, "I'm not that bad."
Yeah, because he was funny. I didn't realize that about him, and he doesn't like go off or anything.
No.
He goes,
He's competitive.
Jesus, and he just leaves. You know, and I'm like, all I said was like, knock it off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's.
And then he feels like people are ganging on him or something.
Yeah.
Again, that's the little part of it.
That's the little brother in him.
Right.
His motto has been for the last 5 years, "I can't wait to grow up and beat my brothers up."
All right, that was me, first of all. But the second part about cool about it is he will become better because of it.
Oh.
I feel like he'll grow out of that eventually, like being not competitive, because I'm always competitive, but he'll grow out of being angry about it, and he'll use that as fuel to not beat his brothers in like, I'll show you, but more like, I'll do better. I'll do good.
He always wants to prove himself better.
Right.
He doesn't like to be criticized, and when he's criticized, it makes him angry.
Right.
And then he'll go outside and he'll work on a hoop or work on a throw because he wanted to be quarterback one year, and his coach was like, "Dude, I don't know about that."
Right.
And he went to Wade and he was like, "I want to be the quarterback."
Sure.
And Wade put him through all this training,
Right.
and he came out and he rocked as quarterback.
Right.
And and he was like, I told you, he has a mindset, and he goes out there and he literally looks at his phone, he'll watch a YouTube video, and he'll go and he'll practice and practice and practice until he gets it right, until he feels better.
Well, I have to now, I guess, because I didn't realize he had that much in him. I used to go and throw a baseball against a piece of tape in the corner, the strike zone, and I would just throw for hours against the wall till I got the strike zone right. I would be like, I need 100 out of 100 in the strike zone. So it's interesting. I didn't realize that because he reminds me of me.
He is competitive
in that sense. And I always used to hate to lose, but now I'm 49, so now I sort of don't like to lose.
You still don't like to lose.
Yeah, I don't like to lose, but I'm not angry about it. I don't like
but you rub the salt in the wound a little bit when you win last night playing cards. You're like, "Yeah, I won. Boom, I'm done." And I'm like, "Okay."
I did take first place in a little card game. It's okay. No big deal. All right. That being said, the timer went off, and we have 2 more shots. So after the shot, we're going to do the finale, which is the hard story.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's go with the Dickel.
George Dickel.
Yes. And this is Mila's favorite, even though this is a new one. Again, I just got this one. We have the 12, but this is the Barrel Select.
It looks so thick.
It's beautiful. This is very smooth. Mila likes the Dickel. And I don't mean to say it like that. Sorry about that. That was no pun intended. I apologize, YouTube watchers. That was pretty bad.
Okay. Oof.
Oh, that's good.
How do you smell it?
So easy.
That
one's good.
What? Wow.
Can you taste it? I mean, even though you're not a fan of any of them except the sweet stuff, do you notice the difference?
I do notice a difference.
Okay.
This one literally, oh wow.
It's at your...
I mean, the rabbit hole made my teeth hurt.
Okay.
I mean,
it might be the sherry. Yeah.
That one wasn't bad.
Right.
Those 2 were way stronger.
Yeah.
I love the screwball.
Yeah.
And I love Crown. So.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm just like, I'm good to see you at least, even though you're shooting when they're all like rough to you, the 3 that are like real hard whiskeys, you at least are getting that.
No.
I can taste the difference.
Yeah, I can taste the difference.
Yeah.
This wasn't as strong as that one.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
Well, this is 100 proof, so
that one literally made me like my
that's
jaw
fire on
locked
your
up here.
eyes. Well, it's time to drink water. Okay, well,
You haven't drank much.
I had 4 before I started. You don't have any drink that much water, do you? You had a good
water.
Diet Pepsi. That was really nice of you.
I did have a Diet Pepsi. I had water first. No, I had a mimosa.
Well, I meant right before we did it, you had that Diet Pepsi. Okay. I don't know where the timer's at, but so the pandemic, 2020, we're all in it. Started, so we're in March. You know, we all obviously have had our times where we're stuck at home and doing all this stuff. So I'll let Keri tell the story, but I don't want it to be a story of too much detail. I just want her to kind of explain what happened in case you guys out there, and I know it's been fun and catching up and talking about memories and her father and my stepfather and the kids and all that good stuff. But, you know, we're going to take it to a different level, and it's not going to be so traumatic, but it will be something that if you guys are listening. I lost another friend 2 or 3 months ago that my wife and I really were really close with for many, many years. But her story was before that. And so because I'm not right next to it, you know, I don't have the experience. It still makes me a little bit emotional right now. So I don't want you to get too crazy with it. You know, just kind of break down what happened.
My husband was a CAT scan tech, or CAT scan guy, and he was very loved. And when
we talked about how funny and cool he was, and yeah.
He's.
So we don't know where this came from.
No, and the pandemic took a lot on him. He was showering 3 or 4 times a day, and he was scared, and you know, it was a lot. I mean, this whole pandemic is a lot for people, and
let alone someone like you said in the hospital.
Yeah, and he was in the medical field,
day.
and you know, I had to make sure I cleaned everything and his shoes, and I mean, he literally would strip outside before he would walk in our house and make sure everything was clean, and he would not look at us, touch us, he would not breathe around us until he was clean.
Right.
And that was just his way of protecting us. He was big about protecting us, and I was home with the kids. We were doing the virtual learning, and then 9 hours of my life were taken away from me, and he decided to end his life, and it was hard. It was very hard on me and the boys. We were very family oriented. You saw us one, you saw us all. We did everything together. We called ourselves a big unit, even though, you know, we'd always end up crazy, but we always did everything together. We were our own support system, and it was the hardest phone conversation I've ever had in my entire life, and it still was troublesome.
Yeah.
But he left us, and it was hard. It was you don't realize how much people are hurting. You don't until you look back.
Right.
And you look at pictures, and
yeah, I remember you saying that now.
Man,
like you're like, oh, I didn't
there was
really
no
see
glow.
he didn't smile or have that.
I just thought he was worried because he worried.
Yeah.
We were his focus,
right.
And he loved us, and it's hard. And
there was some reasoning. I mean, in all, but we don't need to get into all that.
Yeah, and that's nobody's business.
Right. No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. It's not about that.
It's hard. He always wanted to be a manly man. He always wanted to feel like, he was the breadwinner.
Set the example.
Yes, he set the example for these kids. And when that broke, he broke, and it hurt. And I don't know why though. I mean, it wasn't. Right.
You don't, in your mind, it didn't justify the means.
No.
For sure.
No. And
but we all don't know each other's. I mean, yes, you know him.
Yeah.
But we also don't know somebody deep sometimes, even though you do. There's that other thing that we don't know.
I mean, we were 16 years together, so, and, we had lost a friend a year prior to this.
Oh, okay.
And, I mean, we'd had such a lecture for the kids about it.
Oh, during that time?
And, and it was like, and then when this hit, and telling your children, and that's the one thing I really want to express is, I know times are hard. I know this is hard for everybody.
Absolutely.
but you do not realize the effect you put on people. To have Wade, the most sweetest soul in the entire world, have do this and hurt your children. I mean, it hurt our children, and it made me mad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was mad at him.
And you're allowed to be that way.
And I mean, sometimes I still do.
Yeah.
I mean, when, like, you know, he should be here for their first deer that
Right.
they killed. You know, like, they're big hunters, and, you know, and you go through so many phases of hurt, and anybody that, gosh, you really, I mean, I know they say, like, you should reach out, da 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 da. You really should reach out. Even if, I knew it was hard for me to reach out to my closest friends, and I mean, my community. Oh, the community that rallied behind me was amazing. It was amazing for all of us. But I have found so much in people, and there are people that I do know that are going through times and thinking, and I've reached out and I've told people, like, you can talk to me. I'm not going to judge you. I want you to talk to me because I'd rather you talk to me than me attend a funeral at some point, you know? Like, you really should reach out to someone if you're hurting, and never feel too big. Never feel too prideful, I guess I should say, of being hurt or being in a way
in
or
a different
mind.
state.
Yeah, like, seek help.
But you know what's funny, and I don't, not funny, but more ironic, is that's the catch-22, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the person that's struggling feels like his or her desires aren't important enough to put on someone else, and
But
I just feel like that's so stupid because, and I don't mean that in a bad way for the people listening that have thought of that, because we have friends who had lost, but the person that is related to that person has been struggling and posting stuff about it, and it's like, you don't even know. And that's one of me and Amelia's closest friends who's struggling with it, and it's like, she's like a family to us, and it's like hearing her talk about that stuff now.
Yeah.
That her father did it recently. It's like, you don't even realize people are going with that because they look, they can have such a different persona.
Man, it really does. And, you know, I always thought, like, Wade was such, I mean, Wade's always been a lover. He's never really been a fighter.
Right.
He was always a lover, and his family was important. Everything was important. His family was important. And losing him was, it was devastating. It was, I mean, it still is. Every day.
There's no possible way.
I mean, being here is beautiful, but reality is, I'm going home soon.
Yeah.
And it's, reality's going to set in again, and you just don't realize the effect that people miss you. And I guess when you're going through that state of mind, you know, like,
you mean you were the person that's
going through it. Like, they think, at least I think they think they're
life
not
would
wanted.
Be better without them. Yes.
And that's not even the case.
True.
Because our life is miserable without him.
Right. Like the boys, to me, they bounce back. They're having fun with me. But there's moments where they're probably in their room or, you know, like stuff you don't see.
Yeah.
Because there's 24 hours in a day.
Yep.
And I don't know when the lights go off what people are thinking about. And you talk about, I know at Jeff, I mess with Keri about sleeping because I'm like, damn it, girl, how many naps are you going to take?
Dude,
but I'm joking because she can't sleep. And whether that was because of that, I know I wouldn't. I had a hard time sleeping 2 days after Mom.
Yeah.
Let alone something like that, I'm saying. So I can imagine, I jabber, but I know it's not easy. You know, there's got to be like nightmares and things you pop up and, you know, dreams
you
and things.
have, I mean, the nightmares never go away. And you would think that they would. I mean, sometimes they're happy, but it's still, even like a happy dream.
Right. Still is a reminder.
It's still a reminder he's not there.
Because when you wake up, you're like, oh, that wasn't real.
That wasn't real. And it's, you know, and the kids, like, I mean, I'm a mom, and the kids are my entire life. I can't function without having them or knowing where they are, or, like, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get older.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to have grandkids, you know, later in life. But, you know, and, you know, it was hard. I mean, the anger of the children, because at one point, how do you help them understand? And I've got to be strong at this point, and I'm like, it's hard to be the strong one at the same time be hurting.
Mm-hmm.
And then showing your kids,
Right.
like, I want my kids to
you
know
don't
that
want to
I'm
be like,
hurting.
it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like numb. And be
No.
like, why does mom like not even care, right?
Yeah.
So you've kind of got to be balanced. You got to be like, I want them to know I care, but at the same time, I also don't want to show weakness, so they know that we
It's
can
okay.
move on. We can move past this.
Yeah.
But it's so, I can imagine. Yeah,
It's hard because, you know, in a guy's perspective, I guess, guys are prideful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do show, you know, I'm the man, and, you
Right.
know, that sort of thing, which is cool, in a way.
Sure.
But
it's our nature. It's just so
Yeah.
you know, it's not.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
men are from
Yeah,
Mars,
yeah,
women are from
but
Venus thing. It's not
it's
like
also to be good to talk.
sure.
Wade never, I mean, there
Yeah.
was times we would sit at the table and we ate dinner together every night.
Mm-hmm.
Every night we had dinner together. Like, that was a big thing for us. We
Mhm.
had to eat together every night for dinner. And he would sit at the table and he would just stare, and I, you know, and looking back, and I would be like, I thought he was just tired.
Right.
Because he was working so many shifts at the hospital, and
But maybe it was more like he probably should have been talking to you.
he should have been.
Yeah,
And I would
yeah.
ask him, like, you alright? And he'd be like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
but, you know, he was...
He didn't want. He was too prideful to bring it up. Yeah. Now, see, I'm not like that. No offense. I mean, to some people, I'll tell me anything, whatever. I don't really. I'm a prideful guy, but at the same time, I'm more
Wade
like I'm an
never
open
wanted
book.
me,
Yeah.
Wade never wanted me to worry about anything.
Yeah,
I never had anything to worry about.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, "This is how much money you spend this week." Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, okay. I
Yeah.
just swipe the card, and he'd be like, "This is what you can get." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I just allowance my everything, you
Sure.
know. But it's hard. I mean, the boys and me. Christopher moved back home when this happened,
Yeah.
and the boys and me have. I think we've done pretty good. I mean, we have our moments.
Yeah.
I have my moments. I try not to do it too much in front of them because I don't want them to constantly. I mean, I'm more of a wreck.
Yeah.
I
of
think
course.
when I think about it, if I sit too long,
Yeah.
I think
Well,
about
they
it
are
too much.
resilient. Boys are resilient, and as much as they love their dad and miss their dad,
And we
They
talk,
also
and that's another
resilient.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
we have thousands of videos on my phone, on his phone.
Mhm.
Like, I won't disconnect his phone.
yeah,
I
it's a
want-
different time to have
We
someone
want to
be
watch the
passing like that
videos
because
and,
you can go back and look at all this stuff. Yeah.
and Facebook memories.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's
they
what I
get
mean.
you. They get you quick.
Yeah,
But there's so many videos that I've recorded of Wade,
Yeah.
of him laughing,
Yeah.
and we sit around and we actually watch them.
Sure.
And we don't cry. We
Remember.
We
Yeah.
remember, and
Yeah.
he works so much.
Right.
Sometimes, the only time it really hurts is when I'm going to bed by myself,
Right.
and that hurts
Yeah.
more than anything because I'm used to him working.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that
But
was the
at
thing.
nighttime, he was home.
Yeah. He was home. Yeah, regardless.
So it was kind of like, that's kind of weird,
Yeah.
you know, having dinner and everything. But we've done pretty good.
Well, that being said, we're going to finish with a good shot,
Okay.
but it'll be a toast to Wade.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yep.
And it'll be the peach. I finally got it open. Oh, you know what? That's way too much for you. You're already sappy.
I'm sappy.
Well, I mean, you're always smushed.
Smushed.
You definitely are.
What
You're
is this?
You're going to walk
I know.
out.
I know. I'm smushed. My chest is burning.
You're going to be out here like going, you're not helping with dinner anyway, so.
No, look, I haven't cooked. I'm not even gonna fake that I've done
I was
anything.
like, you're not going to be any good.
I
to me.
did
I'm
wash
like,
dishes.
You're not good anyway. Here we go. Peach schnapps, or it smells like peach schnapps, huh? But it's whiskey.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of that one.
What?
It's easy. I'm just saying, it's peach.
It's a good one.
It's
Peach.
very easy.
I like peach.
Well,
I will say
God,
the peanut
sorry
butter
about
is still
that.
my favorite right
Yeah,
now.
it is, isn't it? Very good. You might be having that later. Well, I just want to say that I love you.
I love you.
Thank you for doing this.
Anytime.
And I appreciate you sharing your hard memories. I just kind of want this to be something that people down the line, whether it's your grandkids or whatever, kind of get your take on it.
Yeah.
And they get a chance to know who he was. And I'm sure you'll be passing all those memories along via Facebook and all the videos and everything.
Yes.
All right, guys. See you guys later. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to say like and subscribe.
Oh, like and subscribe. Yeah.
If you made it far through the video. See you guys.
Bye.